Okay, all my general music students, this is Mr. Niebuhr here. This is your first video that I am making for you. So this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to review some really basic rhythms. We just started going over these in class before we left school. So I'm just going to go over a couple of these things for you, and I want you to review them. You can watch this video as many times as you want. If you want to take notes along on the sides so you can keep track of all these different rhythms. We're only going to go over about 4 or 5 different rhythms today. Pretty basic, but I just want to make sure that you guys are working on this, that we don't forget some of these things. And then I'm going to post a Quizlet in the Google Classroom for you to practice identifying some of these rhythms, okay? So the first one is our biggest one, and that's our basic whole note. That's what this one's called, right? It's the one that looks like an oval circle, right? And how many beats is that worth? Let's see what the value of that is, like a value of $1. The value of this note is 4 beats. Okay, 4 beats, and we're going to count that whenever we play piano, drums, whatever it might be when we get back to school. Okay, we're going to count this as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to count that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would just play our drum or play our piano, and we'd hold down the keys for 4 beats. Okay, it's our biggest note, our whole note. It's the biggest note that we have. Okay, the next one, it's half notes. Half notes. So if a whole note is worth 4, a half note is going to be worth 2 beats. Okay? So we're going to count that simple. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you'll notice I have 2 of them here. I've got 1 here, 1 here. So we'd count this 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Now we're getting even smaller here. Our quarter note. That's our next one, the quarter note. So this is each just going to get 1 beat. Okay? And we count this as 1. They each get 1 number. So because there's 4 of them, we're going to keep track. We're going to keep adding up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of just going 1, 1, 1, 1, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And that just helps us keep organized. So that way we know we keep moving. Because if we had if we had a music that had a whole bunch of these in a row and we just kept saying 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, we would eventually get lost, right? In which one that we're on. So if we say 1, 2, 3, 4, you know that we're on the 3rd one or the 2nd one or the 4th one, depending on which number we're saying. Okay, next one. Okay, now we're getting into some more complicated ones here, but it's not that hard. Okay, these are our 8th notes. Whoops, we're flying by, went too far. 8th notes. Okay, they're each worth half of a beat. Okay, so this is a single 8th note here. Oops, a single 8th note. That's what this one is with the flag. Oh, it keeps jumping around. Okay, I think we're good now. Okay. This is a single 8th note with the flag here. This is our single 8th note. Now, that is worth half of a beat, okay? But you can have 2 of them together, which is what these are, okay? Each of these is still, this is a half of a beat, this is a half of a beat. So this is 1 whole beat together, okay? So we count this as 1 and. So we have our 1 and down here. So we count this 1 and. So what would we count this next one as? 2 and, right? So it's going to be 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Okay? So each one of those gets 2 beats, 2 little mini beats underneath our 1 big beat. And I'll explain that a little bit more later. So we count this 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Alright, now that I think I'm on the right screen and we're good to go, 16th notes. These are our fastest moving notes that we're going to deal with. There are faster ones. Okay, there's 32nd notes that goes even beyond that. Okay, but we're not going to do that. 64th notes, we're not going to do that. Okay, these are our fastest ones we're going to use from my class. These are 16th notes. Okay, so these each get 1/4 of a beat. See how it's very similar to the 8th note, except it has 2 flags going down the side. Okay. Very similar to the 8th note. It's got 2 flags though. So this is each worth 1/4 of a beat. So 1/4 of the pie here. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces, right? And we're going to count this 1 E and So before our 8th note was just 1 and. Now we have 1 E and We've added 2 extra beats in there, right? Because takes 4 of these to make 1 beat. 1 E and 1 E and So we're going to count this 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Okay? So I'm going to show you how the relationships of these notes work together, okay? Because I think it'll help to make a little bit more sense. So like I said, our biggest note, this is our note pyramid here, our biggest note on top, it's our whole note. It takes up the whole circle, right? So we count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one down, we've now cut this big square in half. So we've got our half notes, which is why we call it a half note, okay? And now we've cut the circle right in half. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes 2 of these to equal 1 whole note, okay? Now we get our quarter note section, right? There's how many quarters are in a dollar, right? There's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we count this 1, 2, 3, 4, and just like that, we've cut up our pie into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now this is gonna help you understand how these got their name. So this is an eighth note, right? Remember, these are single eighth notes. You can have them by themselves, or you can have them as a pair, okay? But notice that this is, right, we count these 1 and, because there's 1 first half of beat 1, the second half of beat 1. First half of beat 2, second half of beat 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it gets divided up into 8 slices here, which is why we call it an eighth note. It divides it up into 8 slices, right? And then we get our last row, which is our shortest note, our smallest note, our fastest moving note, okay? These are our 16th notes, right? And it divides up our pie into 16 slices, okay? So we get this as 1E and remember, that's how we count this, right? 1E and Notice all of that is underneath this first beat, right? Okay, 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and remember, the only difference between these and these is this is a group of 16th notes, a pair of eighth notes, a single eighth note, and a single 16th notes. Okay, so you can see kind of how these notes got their name based on the relationship they have with one another, right? Our whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note. 4 beats, 2 beats, 1 beat, a half of a beat, a fourth of a beat. Okay? It takes 4 of them to make 1. Right? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to go back to Google Classroom, look for the Quizlet that I put in there, practice these, and I will tell you how I want you to share your scores with me. Okay, there's lots of games that you can do in Quizlet. I'm sure that you guys have used Quizlet before. If you haven't, feel free to write in the comments of the post that you might not know exactly how to use Quizlet, and I can help you with that. Okay? All right. And actually, you know what? I can show you a little bit here. I can show you a little bit here, actually, while I still have you. So this is Quizlet, and I will share this exact. It's called Basic Rhythm Values. It's by me. Okay, and it's got. You can do flashcards. It'll say a whole note, and then it'll show you. Oh, where did it go? Yeah. So it'll show you 4 beats, and then you'll guess what that term is, and then it'll tell you that it was. Oops. You gotta switch to the front and back side. That's what it is. So whole note, right? You can guess. Okay, I know that's worth 4 beats. Yes, I was right. Okay, go back to the front. See. Okay, a half note that we said is worth 2 beats, right? Flip that over, and that's exactly right. Oh, look at that guy. He doesn't have any hair. Okay. 2 beats, right? Very good. So let's see. This next one is 1 beat. It's a quarter note. Sorry, this is kind of blurry, guys, but it's 1 note. The quarter note here, it's worth 1 beat, so that is a quarter note. Let's try our skill one more time. Half of a beat. It looks like this. A half of a beat with 1 flag on it is our single eighth note. Okay, so you can do this, you can test your knowledge, you can take a test here, you can practice by writing out the things, you can do a matching, okay, it's a little bit of a game here, you can match them up, and all you got to do is drag them on top. Name this note. Let's see, I'm looking for a, let's see, well, I'm trying to look for, well, we'll do this one here, a whole note, right, 4 beats. Very good. And notice it's a timer, so you can share what your best time is. The best time I've ever had on this was 8 seconds, but I'm taking some extra time explaining, right? Single 16th note, a single 16th note goes there. A quarter note, that's, ooh, which one is it though? There's 2. That's not fair. Oh, good, we got it. Okay. Whew. I think it'll probably be all right. Half note is 2, and an eighth note is those 2. Very good. Oh, I'm not the best. Somebody else, you'll have to beat me. I'm number 3 on here. Somebody else got it in 7.2 seconds. All right, you'll have to try and to beat some of my top scorers here. Okay. Another thing you can do in Quizlet, let's go back, is you can do this gravity game. I know a lot of students like this. Try your best with this, and let me know if you guys have any questions, okay? All right, I hope you all are feeling well.